songs, let me tell you about a friend. It's Craig LeBlanc, where the good times never end. Talking Parks and Rec, it's a show you gotta know. Welcome one and all to the Daily Parks and Rec Show. It's the Daily Parks and Rec Show.
Parks and Recreation is about giving to the community, giving to your constituents, giving to your district, giving to your employees. It's been really, really rewarding throughout my career to see staff develop, to see kids grow up from campers to becoming some of your staff, seeing that growth and development, getting to know your communities and all those key players. It's been really, really special. It's been a special journey for myself, and I think that if you have that intrinsic outlook on life in your community, that I really think Parks and Recreation can be beneficial for you.
All right, we are live. I forget which show we're on. I think this might be the 6th show, live from the IRPA 2026 with a special guest, Mike. How many times have you attended the IRPA show?
Craig, this is probably my 20th IPRA conference.
Oh, you're officially a pro, 2 decades.
I still get lost in the hotel though.
Yeah, and is it always at the same Hyatt, or it's always in Chicago, right?
It is. It alternates. There's a couple of different hotels it rotates between, but it'll usually be at any one place for like 4 or 5 years at a time.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I've got a great view of the river and the city and all that stuff. It's beautiful down here. If you've never been, even if you're not from Illinois or Chicago area, you should definitely consider this. It's nearly at the same size as NRPA, so I highly recommend coming here. There's so much stuff that goes on, and me and Mike can talk about this when we get back. Stuff goes on here that you won't find in any other state convention. It really is an amazing convention. But before we get started, I did want to give a big shout out to Outdoor Link. If you want to help your city, just like you have a smart home that can be controlled from your iPhone, imagine your entire city having that level of connectivity. This is exactly what Outdoor Link does, building the hardware and software that makes your city a smart city or a smart park. And we're actually creating a bi-monthly show with them to help educate cities on how they can become a smart city or a smart park. So Jovi, why don't you hit that promo, and then we'll come back and start our conversation with Mike.
In today's parks and recreation industry, communication, safety, and efficiency go hand in hand. That's where Outdoor Link comes in, delivering smart technology that empowers city departments and community planners to do more, smarter. Outdoor Link's platform connects and automates everything that keeps your parks running smoothly, from lighting and locks to signage, water features, Wi-Fi, and digital advertising. Control and schedule park lights for safety and energy savings, remotely manage facility access, update digital displays in real time, coordinate fountains and splash pads, provide public connectivity, and even run community or sponsorship campaigns on digital screens, all from one simple, unified platform, giving you real-time control, data, and cost efficiency. For parks and recreation agencies, that means safer spaces, smarter resource use, faster responses, and stronger community engagement. And behind every great park story is great infrastructure. That's why Outdoor Link proudly supports DPRS Media Company, helping the Daily Parks and Rec Show amplify the voices of professionals shaping our communities every day. Outdoor Link, smart, connected solutions for parks, recreation, and beyond.
All right, so we're back with Mike. So what kind of stuff would you see here that you're really not going to see? I mean, this is pretty much a mini national convention.
Yeah, you see all sorts of stuff, especially at the exhibit hall. There's all sorts of different features, amenities for your parks, for your communities, software systems. Really, you name it, we have it here. On top of some really, really great educational sessions. We have about, I think it's almost 4,000 participants at the conference. So the networking is outstanding. The conference does a really great job of putting together socials and other types of activities for the attendees to get to network, learn, and connect.
Yeah. And so before we get started on your personal journey, I wanted to give a big shout out to Amelia. And your park system is a user of the Amelia software. So for someone that has never seen Amelia or doesn't understand how it's different, maybe just give your kind of pitch of what's it's done for y'all and how's it benefited you.
You know, one of the things we were looking at when we were deciding to make the change for software, because it's a big change for a Parks and Recreation organization to do that, was user friendliness. And we wanted to ensure that our customers were able to get in, do the business that they wanted to do with the park district and do it as efficiently and quickly as possible. And Amelia gave us the best opportunity to do that. So, you know, we've seen an uptick in registrations. We've seen an uptick in revenue. And all those things have continued to increase over the past couple of years since we joined on with them.
Yeah. And so a lot of times the fear comes from some of these softwares are so complex. They have such a steep learning curve. It might take a year or two to really understand how to navigate that. How is Amelia different as far as their user interface?
One of the best things that we could have done was gone to Amelia for the back end. The user, the admin side of the system is fantastic. What would have taken, you know, hours or days to train in an old system takes maybe a half an hour to an hour to train a part-time staff member on how to take a registration, enter a new household, you know, creating facilities, entering facility data, programs, all that back-end stuff. Everything's right there at your fingertips. It's been really, really great for us and helped us streamline some of our operations.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember back in a former lifetime when I was CEO and entrepreneur, I mean, our sales force hated onboarding a new CRM. It was hundreds of hours of training, if not thousands of hours of training that you're looking 2 years down the road before they feel at home. So you're saying that learning curve was much more shallow, correct?
Oh,
or much steeper?
It was day and night, honestly. And, you know, the system's intuitive too. So you kind of are able to navigate it just by if you're semi-computer savvy whatsoever, you know what you're looking at, you know what you need to do to get it done. So
yeah,
it's been great.
So it should be similar to some of these massive, like take Amazon for instance. I mean, they've got software engineers till the end of time trying to make it so that grandma can use this no problem. And so Amelia, in a very similar way, is trying to make it easy for a camp counselor to be able to take a registration. You don't have to be some software engineer to figure this thing out, correct?
Absolutely. And like I said earlier, one of the things we wanted was that customer focus, and you know, that sort of that 3 clicks to a sale that Amazon has. We want to get as close to that as we can, and Amelia allows us to do that.
Now, does it also offer like, hey, if you're interested in this summer camp, you might also be interested in this? All that's part of it?
You could do that with your camps. You could do that with your memberships. You can do that with all sorts of things. You know, we do that with our summer camps. If you, hey, you registered for this summer camp, do you need after camp? You know, that pops up.
Wow.
Hey, you've registered for swim lessons. Do you need goggles? You can do all of those things. It's really, really cool. And I could go on for days about some of the cool features that it has, and some of the really the forward thinking growth aspect from the company of some of the development that they're doing coming down the road.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if you're aware. So we are now going to create, it's called the Smart Parks Forward. That is a hardware about smart cities coming on. And then with Amelia, we're in the works to create a monthly show all about software in Parks and Recreation to help educate people on exactly what you were talking about, but even go more in depth and have people like yourself come and give their testimony. Is there anything that you kind of thought, maybe didn't expect, that ended up being a big benefit, that after you started working with Amelia, it was like, wow, I didn't even know they could do this, and this is a big benefit?
Oh man, that's a good question. Put me on the spot. I think the system as a whole is so much better, honestly, just for lack of a better term, better than the one that we were using previously. And really in just about every aspect, it's improved the quality of life for the staff. It's improved the ease of registration for our patrons, and there's cool little neat things it does. Wait lists, you don't have to manage wait lists anymore. I can assign the system to automatically manage the wait list. So if somebody drops from a program, which they can do without staff intervention, they can do that on their own. And the system will say, hey, there's a wait list for this class. We have one spot available. Let's go ahead and email that next person on the wait list.
Wow.
They can have a set amount of time to register for that class. If they choose not to, then it'll go down to the next person, and so on. And that's been really, really fantastic for our, again, for the admin side as well as our patrons.
Yeah, it's amazing what AI and software can do. That just makes you, that way you can do what you need to do, which is face the customer, face the community member.
Exactly. We don't have to be in the system staring at registration numbers and managing all that back end.
All right, so now let's understand a little bit about Mike. What is your background? How did you get into Parks and Rec? Were you like a park rat growing up, or did you stumble into this industry later on?
A little from column A, a little from column B. I mean, I think everybody grew up kind of playing at the parks, playing at playgrounds, playing Little League, doing what you're doing as a kid. And I don't think you really realized as a kid that you were involved in the park district. You were just playing at the park. You were playing with your friends. You were learning a skill, whatever that may be. As I got older and into college, I was a good camp counselor, and I wasn't studying recreation or anything in college. I was studying broadcasting, and I was a camp counselor throughout my summers. And after I graduated college, the district I was working at was like, "Hey, why don't you stick around? We have some odd jobs for you." And before I knew it, I was full time over there running programs as a recreation supervisor, and sort of hit the ground running. My career took off from there. That was 2005.
Wow. Now you say a little bit from column A and column B. I'm wondering how kids can be the lifeguard for 4 years or cut grass or a summer camp counselor, and yet there's a disconnect. They never even considered Parks and Rec as a career path till later on they kind of stumble into it and stuff. How can we maybe better communicate to our part-time workers that, hey, this is a career path while they're the part-time worker?
Yeah, I think I think younger staff, myself included at the time, I didn't really think it was a job. I didn't really understand that there are people that put this camp together, and then there's a whole business department and a parks department and all these people that make these things happen for the communities. And I think it's incumbent on us to be communicating with our young staff, our part-time staff. We do at HF, Homewood-Flossmoor Park District, we do a all recreation summer staff training, and we talk about just that thing. We talk about, this is a career path. Think about what you're doing. You might be studying human resources or marketing. Well, guess what? Our park district or other local municipalities have a marketing team and a finance team or a business department or HR. So please consider, your local branch of government, whether that's, a park district or a village department, to as a potential career path.
Yeah, and then also I'd like the audience to consider that Parks and Recreation across America, if you added up the real estate portfolio, we kind of did for fun, a back of the napkin. We stopped counting at $10 trillion if you had to go purchase the park systems of America.
Crazy.
And so think of this as being the one of the largest industries in America, having every potential use case for every career, whether it's accounting. What are some of the other jobs that you might not think of? Some people just think Park and Rec director and a coach.
Yeah,
what absolutely. Are we missing there that Parks and Rec needs as far as talent?
Like we have a golf course. I don't think people who are studying golf and studying turf management and studying, you name it, fitness, again, marketing and HR, finance, accounting, all of those things are integral to the back end of any district.
And so now what did you do? What does your day-to-day look like when you show up ready to go to work at your Parks and Rec department? Give us a given week or month of what kind of stuff you face.
Anyone who's in the field knows there's no such thing as a regular day.
Right.
You could go in with your laundry list of things to try to accomplish, and if you get half of those done in the day because this or that comes up, and sometimes that's a victory. I'm really, really fortunate to have a great team at the Homewood-Flossmoor Park District. Our recreation department in particular is second to none. I'm touching base with that crew and making sure that we're all on track with everything. Just trying to lead by example, leading through budgeting and brochuring and programming and all of that fun stuff. There's some admin work on the backside that we have to take care of, and making sure that the district as a whole is moving forward and looking bigger picture and not necessarily just focusing on my department, but looking at the district as a whole and the community and identifying their needs and, keeping things moving in the right direction.
Yeah. Okay. So now we made a promo for the industry, and it's on our YouTube channel. Anybody can use it. We don't copyright it. And we made this in an effort to explain to non-Parks and Rec people the value that Parks and Rec brings to its community. and why it should absolutely be considered essential services right alongside police and fire and healthcare. So, Jovi, if you don't mind playing that, and I'd love to get Mike's take on it when we get back and then close out the show.
When we talk about essential services, what comes to mind? Police, firefighters, healthcare. But there's another essential service, often overlooked, yet always present. Parks and recreation. Parks and Rec is health. It's the walking trail that lowers blood pressure, the recreation center where seniors fight isolation, the swim lessons that prevent tragedy before it happens. This isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. Parks and Rec is safety. A playground instead of a street corner, a basketball court instead of trouble, a summer camp where every child belongs. It's not just about activity, it's about protection, prevention, and possibility. Parks and Rec is community, the festival that brings neighbors together, the cultural event that teaches respect and diversity, the open space where a city breathes. It builds bridges where division once stood. It gives people a reason to gather, to connect, to care. And Parks and Rec is economics. It strengthens property values. It drives tourism through events and trails. It saves on healthcare costs. Every dollar invested multiplies, feeding back into schools, into safety, into growth. Essential service is not just about survival, it's about thriving. And Parks and Recreation is where thriving begins. In wellness, in equity, in culture, and in joy. Parks and Rec isn't extra, it's essential. For our health, for our safety, for our communities, for our future. A message from the Parks and Recreation community.
All right, so give me some feedback on that, Mike.
Yeah, that was great. Wow, talk about encompassing really all that Parks and Recreation has to offer to the community. Got that health and wellness factor in there. You got that environmental stewardship, bringing communities together, fiscal responsibility. All those things are critical for a Parks and Recreation organization within a community. And wow, what a great video.
Yeah, well, like I said, we made that as a gift to the community. Use it, show it to every elected official that has control over your budget, and make sure that they're increasing their budget, not cutting it. Any closing remarks before I let you go as to why people may want to consider Parks and Recreation as a career path?
Oh boy, Parks and Recreation is about giving. And giving to the community, giving to your constituents, giving to your district, giving to your employees, and I try not to take, but I try to think of all the things that Parks and Recreation has given to me, and it's been really, really rewarding throughout my career to see staff develop, to see kids grow up from campers to becoming some of your staff down the line, and seeing that growth and development, and getting to know your communities and all those key players. It's been really, really special. It's been a special journey for myself. And, I think that if you have that intrinsic outlook on life and your community, that I really think Parks and Recreation can be beneficial for you.
Well, Mike, as I talk to you, I know that there are levels of wisdom that we're not even scratching the surface on that are stuck in your head. And I would love to get it out to the whole Parks and Rec community across America. What I'll do is I'll have Eunice, if you don't mind, reach out to you later. And sometime later on this year, I'd love to do an exclusive interview with you and try to share some of that wisdom that you've attained over. How many years have you been in Parks and Rec?
Over 20 years.
Yeah, that would be a fantastic show. But thank you so much for coming on the show today. And I appreciate you serving your community and building legacy. And it's just amazing work that y'all are doing in Parks and Rec. So keep up the good work.
Craig, thank you so much for having me.
Yep. Thank you for coming on as a guest on the show. Joby, you can go and hit those last two promo shots.
It didn't start with a studio or a big budget or a perfect plan. It started with belief. Belief that stories matter. Belief that voices deserve to be heard. belief that community is powerful. What began as a single conversation has grown into something far bigger than us. Today we pause, we reflect, and we say thank you. To our guests, thank you for showing up, for being honest, for trusting us with your stories and letting the world hear them. To our partners and sponsors, thank you for standing with us when the vision was still taking shape. Your belief gave this network its foundation. And to our audience, the ones who listened, who watched, who shared, who believed. You didn't just support DPRS Media Network, you built it. This past year changed everything. We grew our shows, we raised our standards, we reached new communities, and we told stories that needed to be told. From parks and recreation to sports, youth, technology, and culture. We learned something important. Growth isn't about numbers, it's about impact. As we grow, our mission becomes clear. Our mission is to create media that matters, media that educates, media that inspires, media that connects people through honest, human storytelling. To spotlight the people, the programs, and the ideas shaping parks, recreation, sports, and the future of our shared spaces. And our vision is bold. We envision a media network that doesn't just document the world, but helps shape it, where local voices spark global change, where communities see themselves reflected, and where media is a force for good. The future ahead is bigger than any single episode. More voices, more stories, more collaboration, live events, original films, deeper conversations, and a growing community united by purpose. From episode 1 to episode 400, thank you for believing when it was hard. Thank you for staying when it was uncertain. And thank you for walking this journey with us. This is DPRS Media Network, built by community, driven by purpose, powered by stories. And we're just getting started.